I noticed when I was a CEO that the business analyst role really changed during the digital transformation of my organization. And this was quite challenging because they had to learn new ways of working, which weren't always easy for them. And so I wanted to see your view on this. And another thing I noticed also is that we had to change from really focusing on functionalities or part of the processes, and we had to change really towards building a customer experience. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, and I've been helping business analysts for close to 11 years now develop their careers and grow their careers. And back when I first started, there was a lot of conversations around big documentation and what was going to happen to that in agile, right? And agile is a big part of digital transformation as well. And I, very early in my career, 20 or so years ago, also wrote like big, huge documents. And then I realized like we were writing these big, huge documents, and then we were also breaking them up into smaller documents. And we could actually skip a couple of huge steps by just looking at like areas of functionality, like in a use case format, and just learning how to describe what the software functionality was going to do in a very analytical way, as well as like sometimes that functionality wasn't enough, right? Like sometimes just focusing on the software gave us a very like myopic view or like sheltered view of what needed to happen. And we often needed to start with, well, what is the actual process here? What are we trying to do for our customers? What's the outcome? Why are we even making this enhancement in the first place? What part of the digital transformation or what part of the change that we want to create in our organization is this serving? And so techniques like analyzing the business process and workflow diagrams and looking at things from multiple perspectives helps me get that bigger picture view and ask more powerful questions as well. And
Yeah.
those are some of the techniques that we train business analysts on today.
Yeah, that's really great. And I thought it would be nice to have you here and to share a little bit what you do and also the free course that you're offering now to my audience, because we have a lot of business analysts in the audience and we have also a lot of leaders in the audience that are confronted with business analysts that might need your new business techniques. Because I remember in my organization, this transition towards agile, towards working differently, was not always very easy to handle because the job description, the roles changes completely compared to the past. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about this free course you have.
For sure, for sure. So it's a limited time free training. We offer it just a couple of times a year, and it really looks at what the opportunities are for business analysts, what the roles are like, because business analysis isn't always the same role either. It varies a lot from one organization to another, depending on the maturity of that organization and the maturity of the business analysis practice in that organization. And there's a lot of people who do business analysis that don't even know that they're doing business analysis, right? And have never heard of the title or the role, but they're doing things like helping connect people together and communicate and get to a shared understanding of what change looks like and why it's important and how to make it happen in the organization. So the training looks at the opportunities, what's involved, and then also helps you get started. So I often find that the best place to get started is by analyzing a business process. Everybody can analyze a business process in our current work. And so we do a little bit of teaching on how to analyze the business process, what kinds of processes you might analyze in your current work and improve. And you also get the free template, the template that we use to teach that technique. And then we close the training with looking at all the skills that are relevant within the BA profession. So from business process that we've been talking about, use cases and wireframes, so how do you actually figure out what the software requirements are, and data modeling as well, which is really important when you start to integrate systems or move data from one system to another. That those are the requirements that make technology look like it's doing magic on the front end, but are really actually quite intensive to create on the back end. So we look at all of those different skills and what they are, and kind of give you a grounding in figuring out where your gaps are and where your strengths are.
Yeah. And you're also training business analysts that work agile, that are working in organizations that have transitioned or are transitioning towards working agile.
We do. So I'm a big proponent that even in Agile, you need to learn the analytical skills to figure out what the requirements are. And so we teach use cases and data modeling techniques because I find that like you can't just sit down and write the user story and magically know what the requirements are. These techniques are not just about the documentation. They're actually about helping you figure out what the requirements are and analyze and ask more powerful questions. But we do accompany that with training on user stories and how to break that use case apart into user stories and product backlogs, because we know that most DAs today are working on agile teams, and if they're not, they probably will be at some point in their career. So it's important to have a foundation in those skills as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I found in my organization that the business analysts, they really had a key role in the transformation. So if you have your business analysts with you and at the front of the digital transformation and really pushing it and helping us get the vision there and getting things done, then it's much easier also to transform the rest of the organization.
Yeah, they should be on the front end of helping get people aligned and figuring out like what the problems are and communicating about, at that detailed level, how to make that big picture vision of the digital transformation come to be. And it takes a bit to get there, but at their best, business analysts are really making that vision a reality for you, so they can be a great partner and a great implementer in that kind of project.
Great. Yeah. So if you're interested in this free course and to know more, I will put the link below this video and just click there and you will get straight to the free course then. Thank you very much for this short video.
Thank you so much for having me, Mariel.